She's like, I've been with them for 2 weeks. How long have you been together?
A week and some days.
Okay.
It was a week on Saturday, wasn't it?
Just a few days.
He's got her voice
Are you on normal or no?
on micro, high pitch.
Uh,
Wicked wit. Oh, are you on the same one?
you too.
You too.
I'll get you, my friend. And your little dog, too.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys, get it together. Let's get
That's
serious.
right.
You ready?
We've already wasted
We'll
precious
fix this.
moments.
Okay. Huzzah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Outer Belt. My name is Patrick.
I'm Chili.
I'm Buttermilk.
I'm Eric. I'm zucchini bread. And Jerry.
Oh, y'all, it's been a while since we've all been together.
And you're in the animals. What is animal zoo? What is it called? In the
morning
The
zoo.
morning
The
zoo.
morning zoo, yes.
We're having too much fun.
Oh.
Woo!
All right. Enough of that.
Shenanigans.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness that's over.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
Well, you sure had to suck a lot of helium to make that happen.
I know. Thankfully, I've got more oxygens now.
Well, that
That's
helium
good.
tank was expensive.
It was
Party
expensive.
City's
It
out of
was worth it,
business.
though.
That
It was so
worth
worth it.
I didn't inhale, did
so
you?
worth it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
How you doing, Jerry Bear?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Long time no see.
Just a little
We'll tell everybody real quick. If you've noticed, we've kind of gone to an every other week format for the past couple of weeks, and we're going to keep that going a little bit longer. But, Jerry Bear, it's pretty much all your fault.
Is it?
That was my understanding.
That was my understanding. I think we all voted and agreed it was Jerry's fault.
We did. We voted.
I think I voted for like 2 episodes a week, and they just decided to go every other week. So y'all blame them.
Really?
Well, I thought you said 2 episodes a month.
No,
That's
I
what,
said
that's
I
what I
don't-
voted for.
misunderstood.
I
2
don't
episodes a
remember the
month.
voters' ballot.
He said
I don't-
bi-weekly. I
yeah.
thought he meant every other week, not
Yeah,
twice a
right.
week.
That's what I thought he meant too.
I was uninvited to
I
the
am
meeting.
so confused.
well,
I don't
Patrick
understand.
and I voted.
Yes,
Oh.
without none of us.
Yeah, I mean,
without
You
none
know,
of you. So that's
yeah.
without with all of you.
Jerry made the suggestion, but we all didn't get to vote. Nice.
But well, really, what determines the frequency is, of course, the sponsors. And of course, today
yeah.
we are proudly supported by Jerry.
OTR services.
That's right.
What?
yeah.
Okay,
What
moving
are
right
they?
along. So, doesn't matter.
That they're our
We'll
sponsor.
OTR sponsor.
No,
OTR
Service.
sir, what?
services.
OTR sponsors our
services.
service of the day.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Huh.
Are you
What service
confused?
do they provide?
CARB testing in the Columbus, Ohio area.
Really,
Ooh.
what is carb testing? Is that where they like check the food and they see how many carbohydrates are in it
I
and
wish.
how many
Do they plug us in?
calories? They're like, Patrick, you are 92% carbohydrates.
It's like, plug you in. Okay, pass gas. We'll find out if you're good to go.
That's a snap test.
Different kind of emissions.
That's
Oh,
a snap test.
You've been sitting too long. We need you to get up 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
5 times.
Oh.
That's good.
But what is a what is a carb test?
If you plan on doing any type of freight into the state of California, it is their new emissions regulations. So it is a test that is currently required twice a year, biannually every 6 months. Your due date is based off of your VIN number if your truck is registered outside of the state of California. And yeah, it's an emissions test.
And so with that emissions test, the proper name it's what, HDMI or something? No, that's a That's a cable.
No, it's something like that.
HD Harley Davidson
No.
new and. But if you go to HD, if you go to OTR-services.com, that's OTR-services.com. They've got all the information there, a little fact sheet, will tell you what to do before you come in, right?
Yes, just go in there. The most important thing is just not having any lights on your dash, and you can go online, schedule, book your appointment, pay, and one of our techs will be out to see you.
And they got a great group of techs. They're super nice, super friendly. They'll come out, they'll plug into the truck and do you right.
Heads up, do you need to have your engine running ahead of time, or does it need to be cold?
Either.
Okay.
Either's fine, but you cannot, under any circumstance, have a check engine light or a mill light, which the mill light is that amber. It looks like a check engine light, but it doesn't say check on it. None of those lights. If you have those lights on, go hit a dealership up first, get that cleared out. Do 5, turn your truck on, get it hot, cool it down 5 times. It's called a warm-up cycle, and then you'll be good to go. But
And that does have to be warmed up and then cooled completely down.
Yep.
And if you have an APU that is tied into the engine, don't be running that because it'll keep your engine hot.
absolutely, let that baby get cold, which is a challenge. Well, hold on. First, I'll say thank you, OTR Services,
Thanks, OTR
for
Services.
sponsoring the channel. I appreciate that royalty check every now and then. It was, I think I got like 12 cents on the
bet.
last one.
Yeah.
I have to split that with you all at some point. So, speaking of the weather being harder to let your engine cool down, how about that weather?
Today?
It's gotten
Today?
toasty.
Oh, yeah, overall. Yeah, but it's not here to stay. I think we're going to get some spring weather.
Yeah, it's going to go back down into like the upper 60s. And
70s.
Okay,
I'll
well,
take it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh my goodness, it's only going to be in the 60s. I'll take it.
So do
I'm
you?
just saying, it did
so-
peak. It peaked. It got really hot.
Yeah.
Hot. 80s.
That's hot.
It is.
Well, let me ask you a question. With it getting all the way down to the 60s, are you wearing your thermals, insulated socks, insulated weatherproof boots, base layer shirt, regular shirt, light sweater, parka, raincoat, beanie, insulated gloves to work
Yes,
at
I am.
60?
At 60, I still am. Yeah, yeah.
Around here, people are like jogging
It-
up
it
and down
helps-
the
it
street
helps.
like in speedos. It's
yeah,
like
they are. It helps with the weight loss. So I sweat it
you
all
just
out.
sweat it
yeah.
all out.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah, but the bottled water budget goes up.
No,
I've noticed
um,
considerably during.
I want to say that last Thursday was the first shorts day of the year.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
he
it's
was
very exciting.
excited.
I was excited to be in my shorts on Thursday.
Cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on my spring tan
Nice,
with my shorts.
nice.
Yeah,
They call that a mechanic's tan, right?
they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
They really
I think
do.
it was in the kitchen making coffee or
Kinda
lunch.
see
Ooh,
it.
no,
Yeah, right?
you don't want to mess with the
Right.
white balance.
And he
of-
kind of hops out of the bedroom and he's like, ta-da! And I'm like, what ta-da? He's like, look. You
I was
sporting
done
the
with bucking it.
shorts. No, you weren't. You were sporting the shorts.
You know, it's the thing that's like, I love the warm weather. I'm very grateful for it. Last night we actually had a chance, most of us, to hang out and smoke a cigar and just chill out and decompress. There's been a lot of crazy schedule stuff been happening lately. We'll talk about that shortly. But just being out there in shorts, sun going down, it was so nice and so comfortable, and I miss that so bad because it's
Yeah.
been a long. Like we've hung out outside, but it's been bundled up
Yeah,
with the parkas
and the
with-
heaters.
and the propane heaters
Yep.
all around us. It's about a 6-foot section. We have 8 propane heaters, I believe. We're putting out 340,000 BTUs of heat to keep us warm, and you just pray there's no wind because it
Yeah.
just wipes it all away.
Yeah.
But it was very nice. But my only concern, complaint, negative thought about this weather is we are very much in that you wake up and it's 40 degrees.
Right.
Right.
Middle of the day, it's 79, and then goes back down to 40 degrees again that night. So
It is doing the dippy do.
it is hard to plan your entire daily wardrobe. You really got to layer up
You too.
so you can delayer.
You
And,
shed some layers as the
Yeah.
day goes. Yeah.
And then relayer later.
but that's better than the dead of winter when it's just
No layers. Well, all
all
layers.
layers,
And
they,
then come off.
and they never come off, and you stay cold.
Why was it put to a vote to go bi-weekly?
Oh, the crazy schedule. Oh, schedule. Oh, I'm not going to say who.
Oh,
But Jerry took 2 weeks off in the most, like, in life, you have 3 reasons to not go to work, right?
Right.
Sick?
Option number 1 is sick. Can't go to work if you're sick. We all kind of recognize it. We may not like it, but we all recognize it. Number 2, dead.
Oh,
Should you accidentally die at night, they don't use, unless you work at a restaurant, because they will
Oh, yeah,
ask you.
they
They will
will
Bernie.
Drag your ass in
What's it
there.
called? Drag your ass in there. We're a family show. What's it called? Not Bernie Sanders.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at
Yes.
They will
Bernie's.
weekend at
They will
Bernie's
prop
you there.
up, yep.
prop
And,
you
then-
up next to that jukebox.
and the only other thing that gets you out of work, unquestionably, is
Jury duty.
jury duty. And you got the 2-week lottery ticket, the golden ticket to the Franklin County Willy Wonka.
I'm telling you, you don't know how bad Dawn wanted that. I'm telling you. For days, every morning, that's all I heard is, "Oh, I wish I could go. Oh, I wish I could. Can I take your place?"
Don's calling like it's a restaurant. I'd like to take Jerry's shift.
Yeah.
Can we just? What I thought was great was at the end of the 2 weeks, you sent us the letter,
Mm-hmm.
the official, and it's like, do you think thought you were lying? Like,
No, I
I'm
didn't
pretty
even
sure it
know
would
they
have
were
come
gonna
out.
give that official letter. So I
Oh,
was
really?
like, yeah, showing that you were there for these many days and everything. And so whenever I got that with all their signatures and everything, I'm like, okay, I'm sending this to Hyfield. You know.
I have one of those letters too.
Oh, you do. You
I
now.
do. I just
Yes.
haven't pulled it out. I pulled it out yet.
You just
You
gotta
know,
you gotta
I'm waiting
get
for the right 2 weeks.
you gotta get Jerry's and get it photoshopped.
No,
You send it down to Fiverr or wherever that
No.
company is, and
I just
No?
had one made.
oh,
I was gonna
okay.
I know a guy.
Whose signatures do you have on it?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It doesn't matter.
It
None of
doesn't
us
matter.
are we comparing?
Yeah.
Are we going
You're
to the
gonna call and
Secretary of State
verify.
website?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, don't worry
Right.
about
Have
it.
you done jury duty before?
Never in my life.
And so this was an experience, though, for you. I
It
mean,
was.
without getting into details.
Yeah, it was. It was. So in the state of Ohio, it was a grand jury. It wasn't just a regular.
oh, so you were the better jury.
Well, I wouldn't say better, but it was grand jury.
Sure.
And my letter says great jury.
So before you can be charged with a federal crime in the state of Ohio, it has to go before a grand jury, and you're basically just deciding if there's enough evidence to bring charges. You're not deciding guilt or anything like that.
Sure.
So it was very interesting. I learned a lot about the law,
Ooh.
about the state law in Ohio. Many Ohio, y'all love your guns. I'm telling you. That seemed to be 3/4 of the cases.
Wow.
Wow.
Guns. It was either something at home with a gun or getting pulled over, and they call it a disability. You're either drunk and a disability. So your disability is you're impaired.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
So you had a gun and you were drunk, or you had a gun and you were high or pot or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
So a lot of that stuff. But there was a few of the more serious things like murder and stuff like that. And then there was one that was extremely
Sure.
out in left field that caught me off guard. But overall, it was great.
Did you make any friends? I mean, I don't know. Are you making friends when you're on a jury? Or
Are
you
you
just,
al- are you
Prefer
allowed?
not to see? the
I was
people?
gonna say, are you
I mean,
allowed
are you
to
going
like?
to the bathroom together,
Yeah.
or the lunchroom together, or the hallway together? I mean, are you?
Are you Facebook buddies now? Or are you?
Nope.
I would think it's like AA, where like they
It's
want you to
anonymous?
somewhat stay anonymous. Is that not the case?
No, we were welcome to talk to everybody and all that. And the way they set it up is you have 9 jurors. I was juror number 6. And then you have 5 alternates in case one of the main jurors are out.
Gotcha.
So we all sit there and listen to, we have people, officers and detectives and all those come in. They testify. They give us all the facts of the case. And then we, if all the jurors are there, the alternates step out and the main jurors vote. If one of the main jurors is out, then an alternate will step in. And yeah, you're welcome to talk to each other. You're welcome. Everything was pretty casual. They just asked that you keep your phones on vibrate. If you had to step out to take a call, then you didn't vote on that case or something like that.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's way different than regular jury
Yeah,
duty. Yeah, 'cause
completely.
they-
It was pretty relaxed and laid back. And it's because it is a set 2-week time period.
Sure.
You have to go the entire 2 weeks. It's not just do a jury duty
Yeah.
until they come to a conclusion and you go home.
How many cases did you see roughly in the 2 weeks?
We did on average I would say a busy day was upwards of 50,
Wow.
and on a light day, it was upwards of like 22, 25.
Oof.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow. I've never been picked for jury duty. Ever.
I got picked.
Oh, wait, I have, but I had to say no thank you because I was a truck driver at the time.
Did
And
you
I
really?
s-
Was it thank you though, or was it just? No.
No, they said the next time. Well, I said I couldn't do it because I was on the road. I mean, I gave my reason, and they said, okay, you get a one-time pass, but then you have to do it. But then I think by then we had switched our licenses from Oregon to
Yeah.
elsewhere.
I was
So,
gonna, jokes on
that
them.
doesn't
You left
matter.
the state.
Right?
Yeah. So
When
That's
I,
her. That's her new thing. Every time she gets called for jury duty, she just
She leaves the state,
leaves the
up
state.
and goes. Yeah.
when I went for the selection, you go in on a. I went back in January, and so they literally had hundreds of people in this huge auditorium, and they tell you if you have a job where your income depends on it and you cannot get off, I guess if you're a commission based or something like that, you had a chance to get out of it. You had to present your reasoning as to why you couldn't do it, and then they made the determination if you could get out or not.
nice.
And you were like, "No, I got plenty of time."
No, I actually
You
did
want me
go
for
up there.
2 months?
I did go up there and try to get out of it, but the first thing they asked me was, does your job depend on it? And I was like, eh. And I was like, well, I kind of have to be there. It's a small company. And she goes, are you salary? And I said, yes. And she goes, no. And I'm like, okay. So that's exactly what she said to me.
Wow.
My jury duty. I got it called twice, and both. I've been called 3 times. First time I got out of it, I was in college, so they pretty much just immediately, if you're gonna be in college, we don't even want you. So I got out that way. Second time, they said we'll let you get out of it for 30 days. Louisiana is very strict, and on day 31, you will be in this courtroom. And so I was like, well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna go. Like, this is stupid, right?
Right.
So I went, and I was in and out. On day 2, they let me out halfway through. Never saw anything more. That was at the old library, which, if you're from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you know the old library. If you're not, imagine an old library. It's been torn to the ground now, so it's not there anymore, so I can't show you. But it was so boring. It was so boring. Hated it. And then the second time I got called for, or last time I got called for jury duty, back in Louisiana, but this time it was the courthouse because the old library had been torn down. And so we were in the brand new courthouse, and the brand new courthouse had this huge auditorium, and we all hung out in there. They catered food for us. They showed movies while we were waiting, and I only did that for one day, and they cut me loose. And I was like, that's not bad. It's definitely gotten a lot better.
Wow.
But I haven't done anything here in Ohio yet. As soon as I say that, it's going to show up in the mail. But
We did get to do something that not everybody gets to do, and that is once a quarter in the state of Ohio, the grand jury has to go to the old jail and the new jail that they built, which opened up within the last 2 years. And we actually had to tour the entire jail, look at the facilities, and we had to actually write up a whole report on it, on what we thought about it, the food, how the inmates are treated,
Wow.
the conditions, everything on both.
did you just look at the food, or did you actually eat there?
was
We
gonna
had to
say.
eat the food.
Ooh.
At the jail.
Oh.
It was not good.
So it wasn't like all the prisoners or the jailers like incarcerated. It's not like all the incarcerated were like, we can't wait for grand jury day because that's when the good food comes.
No.
They cook them like all of a sudden it's like, ooh, what is that? Fresh collard greens, and what is that? Little red beans and rice. Look at me, I'm going to South Louisiana all of a sudden. What was that? Chicken fried steak with gravy on top? Oh, they're eating great in here.
The old jail was tacos, and when I got my plate, we had to walk down a little short hallway and back into this room where we ate. By the time I got my plate and got back in the room and sat down, the shell was so soggy from the grease from the hamburger.
Oh.
I had that much grease, and for those who can't see, 2 inches of grease in the bottom of my plate. And when it was literally slop.
Wow.
And then the new jail, I got up there and they had this stuff that was supposed to be Salisbury steak, but it was green.
Oh.
That didn't look like gravy to me.
Well,
So I didn't have that. I passed right over that and had a hot dog. And even that was questionable.
Yeah.
and how did your reporting go?
pretty much everybody said the same thing, the food, but me and one other person was like, you really can't complain. Like, it's not a Michelin restaurant, it's jail.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
you know,
They
you're
get 3 squares a day. It doesn't mean they have to be good.
I think at that point you're arguing the humanity of it, right? Like,
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
because I think back to there these privatized jails back in the day that it's illegal now in most states, but not too long ago they were serving like these like square blocks of
Oh, like a protein
like
block
a protein
kind of thing?
block
Yeah.
thing. It had vegetables
Yeah.
and protein and like everything that you needed to sustain life was in there.
It was literally the 3 squares Heather just mentioned.
Yes, exactly. A square for the morning square.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was disgusting, and that was the only thing you ate. And so they pretty much have said that was inhumane, and I don't think anyone does it, or at least most places don't.
Sure.
So I think that's what they're trying to prevent.
But I want to mention though, the new jail was absolutely amazing. The facilities are top notch. Like, I have never experienced anything like that in my life. They actually do all the bookings in the new jail now, and so
Wow.
we got to see everything from them coming in on the bus to pat downs to booking the whole 9 yards. The facilities, they had one room where those who are striving to do better and rehabilitate themselves and stuff like that, they actually like wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and they go through classes. It's like a wide open community area. They're locked down at night whenever they're asleep, but other than that, they open the jail up and everybody gets to walk around and do what they want and stuff. And they have a TV in there, but the TV doesn't come on in that particular room until like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because in the mornings they're all like doing these classes and trying to better themselves and stuff like that. One gentleman that we actually talked to, who he's been in there for just almost 3 years, he's actually getting ready to get out within the next 8 months, I believe, and he's been offered a job. So it's pretty
Wow.
cool of everything that they're doing. So
Yeah. Good.
So were these jails or prisons?
this is a jail, but everybody that is in there is top offenders, the ones that we've seen. So we're dealing with everybody from your rapists to murderers to it's
Gotcha.
all felony crimes.
Gotcha.
So he started the trend for time off.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Well, no, I guess not really, because we did the Mid-America Truck shows before that.
Yeah.
But that was a quick thing, and we still recorded the main show
Right.
during that time. But he did his 2 weeks off, and then Eric and I had to go. Didn't have to go. We got to go to. I almost said New Orleans, to Memphis, Memphis, Tennessee, to do a FedEx Fleet Summit. So FedEx Custom Critical will try to bring the fleet together, the owners, so either owner operators or fleet owners, and do a summit to talk about what's happening with the company. You get a State of the Union address basically for the company. You get a here's where we're growing, here's the kind of trucks we need for the future. So kind of like it's their way of saying here's where our business is going, so that you can then plan your business to help us with that, or not, your choice. They don't force you to do anything, but
Right.
kind of here's the direction we're going. So kind of like maybe don't buy cargo vans because we're not really going that direction. That sort of thing. And that's not something they said. That's just an example.
Sure.
And so we brought Kelly and Jimmy. So if you know, they've been on the podcast before, but Jimmy runs our maintenance department, and Kelly is our FedEx fleet coordinator within our fleet. So they came out there, and we spent 3 days sitting at FedEx Freight's world headquarters in
Ooh.
Memphis, which is literally on a golf course. That's not figuratively on the golf course. It's literally on the golf course. We were sitting in the conference room, and it's nice. They built it in 2019, not realizing they weren't going to be able to use it for 3 years.
Wow.
So they built it in 2019, and everything in there is pristine and brand new. And you turn around from the conference room, and behind you is just like an Arnold Palmer grade golf course.
Wow.
I can't remember the name of the golf course, but Jimmy, who does a lot more golfing than I do, he does know it. He's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a big tournament here every year. I've seen this on TV 1,000 times. I never realized that was."
Oh, is that the one Kelly mentioned on the conference call, TPC?
Yes, that's it.
TPC stands for the Players
Club.
Championship or
Championship?
Players Club, but
Yeah.
their TPC courses are the crazy high-end courses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was shocked.
Yeah.
He was absolutely like floored that it's like holy. And what's really cool is like FedEx, the Freight World headquarters is on one side of the golf course, on the other side is FedEx Express World headquarters. So you do see like they're on. It's basically surround. It's basically FedEx's golf course. Is what I'm saying. And it's beautiful. And it was, but it was a really good time over there. Got a lot of insight. So there's been a lot of changes. It's very public, so I'm not breaking any news here. But FedEx Custom Critical is been absorbed into FedEx Freight. So we still operate as FedEx Custom Critical, but the money flows, if you would, from FedEx Custom Critical's bank account into FedEx Freight's bank account, whereas before we used to go into FedEx Express's bank account. Not only are we a part of FedEx Freight, but FedEx Freight and FedEx Express are actually separating. They are becoming two separate publicly traded companies. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and they kind of talk to us about what does that mean for the future, and how does that help us with our business and all this stuff. The real bottom line gist of it is it's great. FedEx Ground, FedEx Express are staying together. If you've watched any news lately, you've seen that FedEx has been on the struggle bus financially with the FedEx Ground and the FedEx Express operation. They've been selling airplanes. They got rid of their U.S. Postal Service contracts. They could stop flying during the day. They've done a lot to reduce their expenses and try to get their company under control is the wrong word, but more efficient. FedEx Freight, on the other hand, is, I'm not going to say printing cash, because that would be the wrong way to put it. They're doing quite well. Custom Critical is the other branch that we have always make money. It always makes money for FedEx. It's a great brand. They love owning Custom Critical. So they kind of put the two high earning companies together, and that's why they're spinning us off. So they did disclose we are going to keep the FedEx branding. So there will be two FedExes, FedEx Express, FedEx Freight, but they are going to be both branded FedEx, even though they will no longer be the same company. And you see this, like, it's not crazy uncommon. GE, there's like 5 different GE companies. They used to all be related, but they're not anymore. So like GE Healthcare is not related to the GE that makes airplane engines. Rolls-Royce Cars is not related to the Rolls-Royce that makes jet airplane engines. Westinghouse, which we all probably have a Westinghouse microwave or TV or refrigerator at some point in our life, has nothing to do with the Westinghouse that builds nuclear reactors. Like, they all kind of, at some point, a lot of these really massive companies do break apart. And so that's what's happening. So they really kind of laid down, here's what's happening. Here's some new lines of business that we're going into and stuff. There was some stuff that was disclosed that we are not allowed to talk about. So, publicly traded companies do have rules about what can be shared publicly, what can't be shared publicly. So there was certainly some stuff that was talked about internally that we are not allowed to disclose. Not insider trading stuff, nothing like that. That's all pretty well public. But just like new places where they're going to go after freight that they haven't been going after, that they don't want the world knowing until they start doing it. But they need trucks to accomplish that mission, so it's important that we know. A lot of excitement happening. I think that's the biggest takeaway I got, Eric. Would you say the same thing? Just
Basically, the new relation between Freight and Custom Critical. Are they going to work together more than they have in the past?
Oh, yeah. And it just, like, when I looked at, so in the room, there was the fleet owners, owner-operators. There's also these FedEx Freight employees, and there's these FedEx Custom Critical employees. And obviously, we know the Custom Critical employees because we've known them for years. We've had 14 years or so, whatever, with
Right.
FedEx, so we know them quite well. And seeing their genuine excitement about what's happening and where the company is going is just awesome. We have not seen anything like that since 2019, 2018 maybe, Eric, would you say? Where those employees are genuinely excited about the things that are coming up. And
Wow.
that's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In the past 6-7 years,
And
FedEx
that's
has they've
basically
made
when we were starting.
no, because we got
sort of.
started in 12, so that was probably 5 years in. like, okay, so over the last 5 or 6 years, like, we've clearly made really good money with FedEx Custom Critical. They're not like, just because the people are excited doesn't mean they've been a bad company or whatever. But there definitely has been a lack of excitement about future activities, future growth plans, and all that stuff. And right now, it's like everyone's just like, this is finally going in a direction we like to see it going.
I think
Right.
even our contractors are going to be happy with what's going on
Yeah.
from their end.
Some of the development, some of the big projects.
Nice.
It's always exciting when you see a big company put millions of dollars in infrastructure in. So, yeah.
Maybe electronic scanning a barcode and quit writing out BOLs.
Mm.
One day, maybe.
There were products presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say what all they're there for, but some of that stuff's going to be rolling out real soon. So
Nice.
Yep. I'm excited. So, like, one thing that's really exciting that FedEx is doing, that FedEx Freight is doing, that I'm really excited about. That's a lot of excitement.
Yeah,
it's
It's you're excited.
woo. And it's passionate to us because we obviously have talked about it many times on this show. Is parking. As y'all know,
The
we
lack
operate
of?
the lack of parking. We operate in a lot of majorly huge big cities that don't have very good parking situations. FedEx Freight is now opening their doors, literally, and their gates to FedEx Custom Critical drivers to be able to park in FedEx Freight facilities.
That's
So-
awesome.
Absolutely. So if you are headed to Chicago, where we all know Chicago has horrible parking situation,
Or
You-
Los Angeles.
or Los Angeles is another good one, or New York City,
San Francisco.
San Francisco. We'll spread along out. There's Oregon, Seattle. There's Portland,
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska. No, they got the casinos.
Oh,
You
that's-
got
okay.
Not
Like-
Dallas. Not
Atlanta.
Dallas, though.
Did we already say Atlanta? You did start
Dallas
with
is
Atlanta.
a good one because Dallas has an abundance of parking down south, but you might also get shot. Atlanta's the same way. Atlanta doesn't have much very good
Memphis.
parking. And Memphis is, maybe. I don't know. West Memphis has plenty of parking though.
Yes.
But do you wanna
will
use
get
They
shot.
know that as a dangerous side.
Is it?
The West Memphis, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was better than the.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So,
At any rate, they're opening their gates.
they're opening their gates. So if you're a FedEx Custom Critical contractor, right now today, you can call in, and there are a large number of FedEx Freight facilities that you have access to. They implemented that a month or two ago,
That's awesome.
but it's not all of them, but it's a lot. And coming up really soon, it will be opening to every FedEx Freight facility.
Wow.
So that's huge. That's very exciting because there's FedEx Freights in every city. In like Los Angeles, there's like eight
There's- yeah.
FedEx Freight places. So
Yeah, it's a big city.
lots
So
of
is
options.
it just intended for parking and you leave, or you park and you can stay on site?
They are allowing multiple things for you to park at. If you have a mechanical failure and you just need a place to go, so they can get a truck to come in and like a service truck to come work on your truck or whatever, they're allowing you to park there while you bring a service truck in. They're allowing you to, you got too much time on the load and you just need a place to park and sleep. They're allowing you that. Even to the extent of if you are like you live in a city like Los Angeles where when you go for home time, you have a hard time parking because there's just not good safe parking. They're allowing them to park their vehicles there for extended periods for home time.
Nice.
So they're really,
That's very
really
nice.
rolling out the red carpet. What I think is really cool about it too is we have a lot of teams that like to cruise, and so I know that's
Ooh, down in Orlando
that's
area.
a common thing. Get a load down to Florida, and then leave your truck at a truck stop and hope for the best
Right.
as you go on a cruise. Well,
yeah, I
now,
hope it doesn't get towed.
yep, and now you can just, if you're a FedEx, you can leave your truck at a FedEx Freight facility
Wow.
while you go on your cruise and come back and know it's there. So, some very cool stuff that's happening, and I think they're working on. They don't have it yet, but they're working on getting everybody full bathroom, lounge or driver lounge, driver's lounge areas at the FedEx Freight's facilities as well. So when you go in there and you're like down for a little bit, you have access to a microwave or a lounge if you want to sit instead of just being inside the truck. If you're down for like a weekend or something like
Sure.
that. So they
And
don't
a
have they don't
bathroom.
and a bathroom. They don't have that yet,
Bathrooms.
but they're working on it. So, yeah, the bathroom thing gets a little
Can be a little tricky.
tricky. So, it's some really cool stuff. I'm very excited to see these changes, and that kind of thing doesn't make FedEx any more money. It's just 100% to improve the quality of life of the driver.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that's like, that's cool. That's exciting that they are actually focusing on the driver's experience. They really, really drove home. It was the very first thing they talked about, which was their culture. And I remember seeing that thinking like, okay, well, all these meetings are about your culture, right? And then as you go throughout the meetings, we realized, oh, they're serious. Like they are, we will fire you serious about getting their culture into a very supportive community. So I'm excited to see that because I think, Jerry, you've been around a long time, many, many, many years, like, whew,
Like
long
back in-
time.
Back in 2002.
Back, yeah, like you remember, you're paper log old. So, you remember the culture at FedEx used to be very business, but also driver. We're all in this together, kind of focused, right?
Yes.
And I know because you got off the road only a couple of years ago, you saw that kind of fall apart over the last few years, right?
Yeah.
So it really kind of that culture aspect. Not the company didn't fall apart because they still, again, great money making trucks. They just the culture kind of like it disappeared. It took a back seat to the business, and
Yeah.
it's great to see it like this new management get in there and go, no, we're gonna clean this up. Like our culture matters. The Purple Promise is what I was brought to bring in, which is what again?
Oh my goodness.
You have to wear purple.
We promised to wear
You have to
purple.
Drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. Get a tattoo. Like, what are we doing here
Oh,
for
I
purple?
never did the tattoo thing.
I remember I can see it clear as day in my mind on the side of the wall with Custom Critical, but I don't know it by heart.
They'd like a slogan
Yeah,
or a motto or whatever you call it.
motto.
What's the motto?
What's the motto?
Nothing.
What's the matter with you?
Ha
Oh, jeez.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh my goodness.
What a wonderful phrase. The Purple Promise is to make every FedEx experience outstanding.
Wow.
Just that easy.
And they do mean that in the terms of driver to customer, from employee to office worker to driver, dispatcher to driver, employee to employee. Like that is like everything has to be outstanding. And so that used to be like a huge part of the culture.
It was crazy. Just
But
a
now-
couple weeks ago, Don's niece, she's not a ranger, but she's like over a huge department in the wildlife forestry up in Upper Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. And so she sends me and Don a message, and she's like, I've got something to ship. Who can I call? So we gave her a call and asked her a couple of questions and everything. And come to find out, they had this huge box that needed to go out to Washington State, where they were actually going to be doing whatever they do with it and then ship it back. And after filling her out and a couple of questions, she actually called FedEx and shipped it with FedEx.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's a great company. Love working with them. Like really do. And I've enjoyed the partnership we've had over the years. It's nice to see excitement again. It's nice to see culture again. And part of that too has just been COVID. COVID kind of came in and made everybody work from home, and it was hard to keep a culture in that kind of environment. But it's just nice seeing all that come back together.
Yeah.
I think, of course, being in Memphis was kind of a neat change. Usually we used to do these things in Cleveland, Ohio, Akron, Ohio area, and just getting a change of scenery, being in Memphis and seeing like, oh, here's the actual headquarters. Here's all these things. And I really like that. They took us out to a baseball game. Memphis has the cutest little baseball park. They have the Redbirds there, which of course means they're owned by the Cardinals. Get it?
Yeah, that
Redbird,
makes sense.
Cardinal?
Redbirds,
Yep.
Cardinals, yeah.
Which I think is funny because
Yeah.
apparently Redbird is an insult to a Cardinals fan, but it's their minor league baseball team. So I'm like,
Oh, that's a little
Interesting.
oxymoron.
I mean,
All right.
you could kind of see that,
You
right?
could.
You're playing like a red bird instead of like a
Yeah.
cardinal.
yeah.
But
But-
see that.
Overall, great experience at FedEx Fleet Owner meeting. We have one coming up with Panther in July, I want to say. So, it's always fun to go and hang out with these people and see kind of where their minds are at and what they project the business to be at and things like that. So you can kind of make plans. Yeah.
Nice.
Now, Melissa,
What?
you're not getting off that easy.
What?
When Jerry left, you also left. And where did you go?
I went to Oregon.
The trail?
Oregon Trail. Close. About 20 minutes from the trail. Yes, I went to Southern Oregon and visit the younger son and his family and the grandson, the youngest grandson, and stayed there a little over a week. Bestie's there too, so stayed with her. And then when I left there, I flew into Arkansas where my older son was with my older 2 grandsons and stayed there for a few days. And then the older son and I made our way here to Columbus.
Y'all road tripped it.
It was fun. We stopped in Memphis. He had never, not Memphis. Well, we did Memphis. We had a wonderful suggested barbecue lunch in Memphis down on Beale Street. That was a lot of fun. And then we did Nashville down on Broadway for Monday night. And then we made our way home. Now we've been here. So, yeah, April's been kind of full.
Kind of full. It just kind of flew by,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Looking forward to a relaxing May.
I see why we've gone to every other week. Everybody's been kind of, well, and then we're coming into summer when vacations happen.
Yes. Yeah, it's been insane. We do have to talk about, are we going to take a summer break like we normally do? Or we're going to try to,
Like a hiatus.
yeah,
Well, are we going to try and get like 15 shows in over the next few days?
we could.
Yeah, we could.
I say we do another one right after this.
Yeah, we should. You're right.
Quick
I
wardrobe
think I
change.
have plans.
I definitely got the
I'm with
vote.
you.
I got the ballot on that vote.
Yeah, Jerry and I have something we need to do.
They're
All
going to go.
We are getting up there in numbers. I mean, we're like at episode 28 or something. That's
Since
think
we
that's-
started?
no, like this season.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Just this
Oh, wow.
season.
Wow.
That's the
I'm like
most we've
consistent.
hit so far.
That's pretty consistent for us.
Yeah,
Wow.
it
I've been
is.
shocked. I'm shocked.
That is.
Well, we do need to talk about one thing, which is the news that you've all been sending me emails and text messages,
Are they doing
Instagram
Telegraph?
messages, and
DMs on X.
DMs on X,
Yeah.
and
Your blue sky is blowing up, isn't it?
oh, the blue sky's red.
Whew.
It's insane. And then it's all about these non-English speaking drivers that we talked about not too long ago.
oh dear.
Apparently, it's been all over the news after we covered it. Just want
All
to point
over.
that out that we covered it at
We did
first.
Oh,
cover
we
it.
covered it first.
Uh,
Yes, live from
You saw it
the
here
outer
first.
belt.
Yes.
Or heard it here first.
But there's been like 17 different forms of upgrades of changes, and laws are changing, and people are getting fired, and someone said they're going to make things great again, and I have not caught up with the latest little bit of news. I've just seen what I've been getting. Again, it's literally been a lot. I've probably got 20 different messages and emails about this one topic. So we need an update, I think. Think of anyone better to talk about that subject than my man, the one, the only, Chile.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Caw-caw.
Whoop, whoop.
I am so unprepared for this.
We're hyping you up. We're
Are you
hype
really?
people.
No, I'm ready. For
Okay,
it.
good.
I'm ready
You
for
had
it.
me
Yeah, just-
scared.
I know.
You had me scared. I'm like,
This frightened you. So a couple episodes ago, we talked about the bill that was introduced in Arkansas
yes.
that would require a commercial vehicle driver to have a domestically issued CDL.
Correct.
And there are also language provisions to be able to speak and read English. Well, that bill was withdrawn,
Oh,
and a new bill was introduced that took away the domestic driver's license portion and only required language proficiency for commercial motor vehicle drivers in the state of Arkansas. If you're going to drive a commercial motor vehicle in Arkansas, you had to be proficient in English.
so kind of what we talked about with I don't know how they can do this because of
Correct.
the
Yeah.
Mexico and the
Correct.
interstate commerce and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So they heard our podcast
they heard our podcast
and they
they're
said
like, that kind of makes
he's got a
sense."
good got a
Yeah.
good argument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a very large Arkansasian fan base. I don't know if y'all know or
We
not.
actually do.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. Out of
Yeah.
Little Rock and all. There's a huge group in Bentonville. I've heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah. So that passed in Arkansas, and then just in the last couple of days, President Trump signed an executive order
Okay.
that requires English proficiency in speaking English, communicating in English, and being able to read English. So a lot of folks are saying, well, that's in the handbook for the longest time. Well, the executive order that President Trump signed the other day actually requires a truck driver to be able to speak English or be placed out of service.
Oh, so he gave it actionable penalty.
Yes, he did, which
Wow.
apparently was in the law before.
Oh.
And in 2016, the policy change was made under the Obama administration that removed the requirement to place a driver out of service if they couldn't speak or communicate in English,
Okay.
read English, that type of thing. So this is just reinstating that
Gotcha.
provision to put a driver out of service.
So I will say, if you are not super familiar with trucking rules, when you get pulled over for roadside inspection, there are a list of things that if they catch you with, like a blown tire,
yeah.
it's an automatic out of service. You have to get that repaired.
Yeah, they shut you down right there on the spot until you're repaired.
Exactly. If you have something else, I'm trying to think of what they are. It's been so long since I've looked at that list. I want to say like maybe a clearance light or something is out, or I think last time I looked at it was about LEDs, because nowadays they make the LEDs with like it's 100 LEDs in one light,
Right.
and they said like if you have half those out, it's not out of service because half the light is still working, but it is a violation and you have to get it fixed.
Right.
So they'll send you on your way, but you've got to get that fixed.
Gotta get it fixed.
I think brakes are the same way, aren't they? Like if you're on an 18-wheeler, you have to have at least 20% of your brakes functional.
Yes.
Well, we
Something
should
like
know
that.
that.
We should
Something
know
like that.
Yeah.
So if you have one brake that's not operable, it's not out of service, but you do have to go get it fixed.
Immediately.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of that thing.
Yeah, so that's the basic gist of what happened here. There's lots of folks that are coming out behind this. OIDA is all over it. The Arkansas people, legislatures are happy to see this be going national and not just an Arkansas thing. So there's a lot of folks that are happy to have this back in play. Because we're looking at now, yes, it's a safety thing is where we're coming from. If you can't read English or communicate with somebody in English, you can't read road signs or understand them.
Are there governing weights or any of that? Yeah.
Exact weights or anything. It's a safety issue, and we want to have folks on the road driving large commercial vehicles that are able to communicate in English.
It kind of makes sense because again, I just looked up the law. It is 20% of your brakes have to work. So if you have an 18-wheeler, you've got 10 sets of brakes. So two of those cannot be functioning. Sorry, two of those cannot be out because that would equal 20%.
Right.
But if you had one out, that would be considered less than 20%. So they would just write you a citation for it, but you'd still be able to roll on. Or if you have like one of those heavy haul trucks that has, we've all seen them, they have like 28 axles or something, just insane amount of
It's
axles.
crazy.
If you have 3 or 4 of those out, they'll send you on your way.
Sure.
So but that makes sense because you've got all these other systems, right? So you've got 80% of your braking ability left. If you can't read English, you can't read a sign.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and they're not even saying, because they are. I did see one thing we were talking about. There is a set, because it was a part. I'm all over the place. That was a part of the conversation we had was, who is coming up with this test? What do you have to read?
That was in Arkansas.
And
yeah.
they do actually have a mandated, here's what you have to be able to read, and if you can read this, you're good. So there is like, you don't have to know all the English. You just have to know these basic things to be able to get by. So if you can't do those basic things, then you can't necessarily read. You may be able to read a speed limit sign, but like you said, a bridge that says, you can only cross it at 60,000 pounds,
Sure.
but you're 80,000 pounds.
Right.
You can't read that. Or
a sign that says emergency exit.
Construction signs.
No,
and
the
stuff.
escape ramp. What
yeah,
do
the
they call
escape
them?
ramp.
those types of signs. You
Runaway.
ever read that? Runaway truck ramps.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Road construction signs. Yeah, where it's more than just
No
a
trucks
number,
or
right? Yeah. So those things are important.
It also says that under Trump, that they have to be able to communicate with traffic controllers, safety.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
get pulled in,
Your
border
officers.
control.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go in for your inspection, you get pulled in, whatever. Okay, turn this on, turn that off. If they
Yeah,
don't understand
sure.
what that is, how
Sure.
are we going to do this?
Absolutely. Blow your horn. What? Like
Mhm.
that has to be a
Yeah.
thing. So
Exactly.
it's interesting to see how much of this is coming back and what the language they're putting back in and stuff. Because we did talk about a little bit of like how much of this is safety, how much of this is racism, and it does feel like a lot of it is reverting back to what it was, and it does to me feel less like racism and more like safety the more I've delved into it.
Sure.
On its surface level, I think you could make the argument of like, well, they just don't want Mexicans here. But when you dig into it, you're like, well, no, that's not the case because they did roll back that provision, and they are being very specific on this is what you need to know how to read, and they are saying like it does seem to be coming from a very safety-minded philosophy.
It does. But if one were to play devil's advocate and look at it a different way,
If one would,
it could be also seen as a very well crafted bit of
sure.
we don't want others here.
Sure.
If you take into account other things in our society right now, it could be seen that way. However, I will give them that this is a safety thing. I've been on the road and had to try and communicate with somebody who didn't speak English and wasn't able to because they didn't. My Spanish wasn't good enough.
And you speak good. So for those you don't know, he speaks very good Spanish. We've been to Mexico together. He's able to really help out. So.
Yeah, I was unable to help this person and get this person taken care of.
Yeah.
So I actually had to grab somebody else and say, hey,
Yeah.
can you help? Because we're not communicating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fortunately, it wasn't a dire situation where it was an emergency, but I'm dealing with another driver who I couldn't talk to.
No doubt.
So
No, I do. Again, I say if you take that big view back and you look at it and you go, here's all the context, you could
Sure.
certainly come up with that
Sure.
conclusion. But if you really dig into it, you try to like, okay, now that you've seen what they're trying to do, now argue against it.
sure, it's
You can't.
I want to
can't.
see statistics. I know that
Well-
takes time.
Yeah, it says since Obama administration that traffic fatalities have gone up.
Yeah.
Concerning trucking fatalities have gone up. I would like to actually look and see what the actual statistics are as well. Is that just because of that, or is that because there's more people on the road driving, or less people on the road driving, but we still have more fatalities?
Yeah.
Or is it? What is the increase? Is it one person?
Right.
But to that point, though, originally during the Obama administration, the reason it was taken away was they said because there was no.
Did we need truck drivers as well? Was that a thing of trying to get more people out there helping out on the road, do you think?
So in the article, this is from Freightways, by the way. It does say the reason the CVSA members voted to remove English proficiency from its out-of-service policy in 2015 was because, quote, they could not substantiate the safety impacts, end quote, FMCSA stated in its 2016 policy change. So they weren't seeing that it was a safety issue then. That's why it was removed. It wasn't just a let's fill the trucks with foreign truck drivers. They didn't see the safety issue in the English proficiency.
Does it say when the Mexico U.S. Program went into effect that allows Mexican drivers to CDL holders to come into America?
This article does not address that at all.
Because I wonder if there's a correlation there.
It could be.
You could make the argument that like, hey, once like maybe people who kind of have been raised around seeing the road signs,
Sure.
even though they don't speak English, they know what they say.
Sure.
Like if I go to Mexico, if I go to Canada and I see Quest, I know it's West because I've been there enough. So if you if you look at it and go, okay, well, these other people came in from Mexico where they have no point of reference. They've never seen this
Sure.
Right.
because of this program.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden the numbers have ticked back upwards. Like, I'm just curious. Like,
Sure.
everything I'm saying is a pure hypothesis.
Right.
But I would like to see some of that data. They haven't given it to us, so you're right. That is a little
Sure.
frustrating. But I can also see, the knee jerk of crashes are going up. What can we do to pull it down? And sometimes you make those decisions without having all the data. So this may be that. I don't know.
Well, I can say that probably the Outer Belt will be keeping their eyes on this story.
Yes.
Oklahoma did just introduce the same law, so
Yep.
it's spreading by states as well.
It's not just Oklahoma. There's a couple
I thought
other
Wyoming
states.
or another one had done
Yeah,
it.
there's
We
been a
in
few.
the last time we reported and talked about it.
Yep.
A couple of other states had done it.
Yep, it's starting to grow and get some steam behind it. So I think it'll be nationwide relatively soon. And of course, the executive order, it's federal interstate highway
Sure.
system, so that actually does kind of hold a lot
Yep.
of weight.
Yeah, it
so.
does.
Yep.
Great story. Great story.
Absolutely.
Now people are more in the know.
I never thought we'd stumble upon this. When we talked about it the other day, I thought this was just an
A
interesting
fluke?
case.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
a one-off kind of thing,
Yep.
and here we are.
Who would have thought Arkansas leading the charge?
Well, I think people need to keep commenting.
They do. Yeah. What else do y'all want to hear about? What else do y'all see? Things that we talk about that you're like, oh man, there's all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Keep us on our toes, because sometimes we see it. Like this story was big enough that had no one mentioned it, we still called
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But it got mentioned
Yeah.
quite a bit. So, no, we appreciate that feedback. It really helps us guide and figure out where we need to head to next.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You've been a wonderful crowd. If you do have anything you'd like to tell us, drop us a comment. You can send us an email at theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com. That is theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com. Also referred to as theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Shoot us a comment. You can call Jerry at 833 Hyfield, extension 5, and talk with him if you'd like. If you are interested in joining Hyfield Truck and come over the road with us, seeing what we're all about. A couple weeks ago, we talked about lift gates and all this, and the reason that we have them, and all the thought that went into putting them on there. And we plan on getting back on that as well at some point.
Well, if you want to talk to a recruiter such as myself, you
Yes.
can call the 833 Hyfield,
But not 5.
but not 5. It'd be option 1, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
And we know that Hyfield's a weird way to write it the way we do
So
it.
it'd be 833-493-4353, 4353, option 1.
And if you're driving and you can't write that down right now, you can always find it where, Jerry?
At hyfieldtrucking.com.
Or the comments.
Or on
or
Facebook.
or the description of the video.
Absolutely.
Well, if they're driving right now, let's not look at the description.
No, I'm saying when you stop,
got-
it'll be in
gotcha.
the description.
Yes.
Of,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
You can find us at hyfieldtrucking.com.
Yep.
Do we still have a chat function?
We sure do.
And who mans it?
That would be Miss Melissa, mainly.
Nice.
And I do Facebook Messenger, which is pretty instant. I mean,
Cool.
obviously, if I'm on a call, I won't respond at the same time, but promptly after, I'll do Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, any instant messaging service, including our website. I'll be the one behind
AOL Instant Messenger.
it.
Yes.
Maybe not that one.
MySpace.
No.
No, okay.
So
No, but you can find us on Friendster.
What about ICQ?
ICQ?
ICQ.
I used to use that back in the day.
I did too.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot about that
How
one.
far back you want to go?
no.
I used to use Palm. Oh no, that's different.
So look,
You
log
can
on.
just get a hold of us.
Log on to CompuServe, and if you go down to the
I didn't use CompuServe.
If you
I
go
used
to the-
AOL.
is it
Sorry.
CompUSA?
Do the CompuServe
If you,
get,
if
the
you go to
free
the
CD?
CompUSA and get the free free 80 minutes of AOL, drop it into your CD-ROM on your compact
Yep.
Pisario.
Yeah.
That's too
You're all
funny.
good.
Woo!
You're all good.
Just make sure to disable call waiting. When I was a young man. No, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with y'all. Please continue to drive safe, make good decisions. We'll see you next week.
Don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.